Support your Hobbit hobby.
No.
Welcome, Strategy Battle Gamers, to another Speak Friend and Question from the GBHL YouTube channel. You're here with James
And Jamie, and we're going to be doing, well, our Q&A.
Woohoo! Woo. This is our favourite time of the week, isn't it?
It is. We meet up in the freezing cold hall of Northwest Gaming Centre because it's just us here. So
It's going to be much warmer in April.
Yeah, it will be.
That's right, guys. Lots to look forward to.
Get big blaster heaters on. Oh.
Now, we've actually got tons of questions to get through this week. Thank you very much, everyone.
We've not prepped either, so fingers crossed we get the rules right and we can...
Yeah, do forgive us if we get anything wrong. We will do our best. A lot of this is our opinions on things as well. So a lot of the questions, it's not right or wrong. It's just what we think. You might disagree. You might agree. Just let us know. Remember, there is a rule. What's the rule, Jamie?
If you ask a question and we answer it, you need to ask another question next week.
I think a lot of people have been taken up on this because I can recognise in a lot of names. And another good thing, there are a lot of names here. Oh, don't know what that was. A lot of names here that I don't recognise.
Yeah, so we got quite... I recognise a few from the first, but yeah, we got some people who I don't recognise, so sweet. Absolutely
fantastic. Thanks for getting involved, guys. Thanks for supporting us and our Q&A. Our Q&A last week was a little bit shorter because
we sort of cut halfway, or we did it on like the Wednesday or the Thursday or something, didn't we?
Well, we did it a couple of days before Christmas.
Yeah,
no, we did it on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So we didn't do it on Christmas Day. So it was missing like a couple of days worth of questions. Yeah. So we hope that we don't miss any out here. We haven't got any internet. I've just had to load up the questions, and they are in front of me, but we won't be able to check any
sort of updates as they come in. Yeah.
As they come in. So we'll do our best. Remember, this should go out on Sunday. We are filming this on Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday because we've got the tournament tomorrow. Yeah.
We're going to a tournament tomorrow.
Yesterday.
We went to a tournament yesterday, and I won. The same thing to me. Jamie came last.
Yeah, sure.
With Historian's company.
Yeah.
This tournament winner here is going to show us how it's all done tomorrow, and I'm going to go for my second ever tournament with a force that I've not even painted up. I might just have to scrap it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Take the Rohan.
I might have to take the Rohan. 400 points, I'm a bit worried. Okay, so first up here, we've got Foos Tub.
First like, woo!
That's right, it's a big moment when you do your first like of our videos. So.
I think it was the first like on the video.
Oh.
People like to say they got first like. I never fully understood it myself because...
Foos Tub, let's see if you get the first like on this video. 3, 2, 1, go! You might have already missed it.
It's 2 minutes in. If you get the first like, you like it as soon as the video's uploaded and published. It's like, bah, like, yes.
In order to do that, you have to be subscribed first.
You do, yeah. Because you get a
notification. You'll be like, video up, boom. I don't even know what it is, but I'm gonna like it on my phone. That's right.
Unless you're from Greece.
But Foos Tub. Wait, yeah, unless you. Well, we don't mention that. We don't mention that person. We don't like you either. If you had a channel, we'd dislike you too. But you don't. So thank you, Mr. Anonymous. Don't do us any favours.
But you didn't ask us a question, Foos Tub, so we can't answer it.
No, that is the rule. You've got to ask us questions, but we do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Churchill Master.
Churchill Master.
From Poland.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Found it hilarious. I was trying to pronounce his name. Chokhol Master.
Chokhol Master?
I think chokhol might be a drink. It sounds like Cocomel from Amsterdam.
It could be.
Explain.
Help us out.
Yeah. How to use the Isengard troll. What do you think about his profile? Should he be used as a support or more of a smashing force?
Well, you kind of answer it yourself, I think, in the second part of your question. He's there to smash things.
He is a smashing thing. He's unlike the other trolls, though. He's fight 6. So unlike the Mordor trolls, they're fight 7. This guy's only fight 6, so he's not so much a hero killer.
He's not a hero killer.
He's definitely going to be troops. Yeah.
So that's probably the best thing.
His profile's pretty good. He's got a high defense. You can give him a shield and a spear.
His defense 7?
8, because you can give him a shield.
Oh, fantastic.
So he is definitely your troop killer. And he's very survivable.
Yeah, how to use him. Try and get him onto a flank.
Hurl it.
Bit hurling. Smash things up.
Just go smash stuff up, really.
Smash. That's what monsters are for.
Troll smash.
Troll smash.
Mr. Stomp.
That's what these new monster rules are great for. Yeah. Go and cause some havoc. But maybe not so much as a hero killer, this one. No. Sounds like a troop smasherer.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps. Next up, we've got Karamjan Triangle.
Yeah, the Crimson Triangle.
It's only when I've been doing this I've realised how much trouble school teachers must have.
Yeah.
They've got to like read, I don't know, like you're in central London,
Yeah.
you know, and it's a really diverse place. So you've got people from across the world, and you can imagine like, you know, the teacher who's got to teach reception, and it's a completely new class, never met any of the kids before, and you get the register, and you've got to give all those names a go. That must be hard.
Yeah.
That must be hard. We're struggling with Karamjan Triangle. Hi guys, really good channel.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We really do. And liking the new rules of when to.
The new series of when to. So that's the tactical tidbit, sort of like when to feint, when to pierce and strike, when to hurl. That
Well,
kind
that's
of
good.
stuff.
That's good. We're going to try and do some more of those this next year.
They won't be
I'm
doing-
going to do more of them because I'm a tactical genius
Yeah.
and Jamie doesn't know anything.
It's true.
And I won the tournament yesterday. And I had to teach him a few things. I had to go home and go, you got those rules wrong there, Jamie.
As for the tactical tidbits, though, they're not so much a series. They're just going to be released as and when we get the chance to, and we need to fill a day's worth of content. So don't expect a regular release for them. They're sort of filler.
Yeah, the regular content will be the battle reports, although we're a bit behind on that at the moment.
We are, yes. Apologies for that.
We were supposed to be doing some battle reports today, but
But life's cropped up, hasn't it? And
yeah, lots of things cropped up for even our opponents as well, so not completely our fault, but we will try and keep on top of that. 2 battle reports a week. We want to get the bedtime bat reps as a regular thing, but we need you guys to submit them so that we can do them. What else is regular? The Q&A. We've been hot on this.
Q&A's been spot on each week.
Nailing it. Nailing this Q&A. Speak, friend, and question. It's for winners. Also, what's happened to James's manners?
Yeah.
Referring to James's first appearance on the channel, he used to be so polite.
He's got cocky.
Would you please explain yourself?
He's got cocky because he's won a few games, and that's it.
Won a few games because I keep on beating him. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You have to watch the tutorial video.
We'll see what happens at the tournament.
I'm worried. Do you not think I'm polite anymore?
No, he's not.
I am very polite. Thank you very much for your question.
Thanks,
and
Cramjan.
comment. What happened to James's manner? That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's still here. It's still here. I really appreciate you commenting. Remember, the rules are you've got to ask a question next week as well.
Okay, next
I'd
up,
like you to explain what you mean about my manners. I think I'm very polite.
remember, short and concise answers.
Yeah.
Stefan Farn next. Stefan, good work, guys. Big fan. My very first question. Oh, nice. Thank you for commenting. Camille's special rule, Essence Leech, says that for every wound he causes, he gets a point of will back. Does this also count when hurling with his Fellbeast, and so possibly regaining many will points in one turn? Yes.
Does it say the model? Is it to do with the
It's to do with the model, but I've also spoke to this about with Ed Ball, and Ed Ball says that it does, because the model is causing the wound, and so the model will regain the will points because of the Essence Leech.
Okay.
So yes, so let's say Camille threw a Wood Elf through 6 Wood Elves and killed 3 of them, and killed the Wood Elf he threw, he'd get 4 will points back. So
Really? That's really powerful.
he can really sort of, against low defence armies, expend his will points quite freely and quite quickly regain a lot of them. And the second question...
Fellbeast really needed that boost.
Yeah,
You know,
they really
these
did,
things.
didn't they? Yeah. Another one, when the Mimic wins a fight, can he barge some models and start another trampling round the same turn? Now, for this one, I actually read before we did this.
I didn't.
And
Thank goodness for that.
I'd say no, because what barge does is it allows you to move d6 inches forwards, and this can be a charge. It doesn't say anything about moving again, so you're just literally moving the model d6 inches, not trampling. So trampling's a movement turn rule, whereas this is just moving d6 inches. So I personally would think no on this one.
Those are some good questions.
Yeah, Stefan's a good player.
Is he a good player?
Yeah, very.
We're hopefully going to see you at our tournament in April, Stefan.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
12th and 13th, don't remember.
12th and 13th of
Don't
April.
remember.
Make
Don't
the
forget.
journey over.
Yeah, it'd be nice. We're getting people from across the world coming to this tournament, so we want to make it a massive event. We've got tons of really cool things
I
planned.
think Stefan is from the Netherlands, if I remember
It's a
correctly.
cool place. You like it over
I
there,
like
don't
it.
you?
Yeah.
We should go sometime.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
we'll meet up with you. Play a game.
Yeah,
back
that'd be cool. Do a back rep. Next up, we've got Orcs and More. Because you've answered the really tough question before,
Yeah.
I'm going to answer this one. Okay. Hey guys, what table size do you recommend for a 700 points game? By the way, I really like these Q&A videos. First of all, thank you very much for your question, and obviously for supporting us. We do appreciate it. Table size recommended for 700 points game. Well, I previously, before I met Jamie and did my first tournament, used to always play on 6x4, which is probably far too big actually. Now that I play on 4x4 for 500 points games, etc. But I think 700 points is probably about the right size.
Yeah, 4x4 used to be used at the Games Workshop tournaments when they were 700 points.
Yep.
So, yeah, 4x4 is your best bet. There are certain scenarios that benefit a 6x4 board, but 4x4 generally works well.
Yeah, give that a good go. Well, what point do you think it's necessary to start going 6x4?
It's sort of your 1,000 points upwards.
Really?
Just because there's so many models on the board that you can become quite congested, especially if you've got 50% covered in terrain, as you should do, or should aim to do anyway.
Yeah, I think especially if you've got time constraints on your game. One of the things that I found when I started playing, for many, many reasons, including not knowing all the rules and for playing Grey Company and Rohan, Skirmishy, the games would last forever on 6x4. Too much room. Next up, we've got Suicidal Mars Bar.
His question is the one and only Big Joe Horsfall the most controversial GBHL member of 20K13, or does someone else hold that throne?
I think Ed Ball is the most controversial. He's the name that comes up the most.
Yeah, he is.
I love that dude to pieces. He's really nice.
Yeah, I think this is probably in relation to the banning of flyers in the initial rules pack that he put out for his tournament.
I didn't mean to cause trouble, by the way.
Yes, you did. We discussed
not.
this. You were like the man who sort of flicks the, pours the petrol.
I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I was very interested to see what everybody else thought, because it was very specific. Like there could be ways of going about.
Yeah. So like no named heroes or one named hero, that kind of stuff. But
so you can only have so many points worth of hero, or you have a minimum number of troops. Minimum number of.
I'd say for this question
models.
though, Ed Ball is probably the most controversial member of the GBHL.
Now, for anybody who doesn't know Ed Ball, the reason for this is because he's a very good player and he brings the same list, or the same type of list, to every single tournament. He's been playing it a long time, and it's very, very tough to beat.
Yeah.
And lots of people don't like playing it.
Played well, it's incredibly tough to beat. He takes a fully mounted Felbeast army. Played by someone who doesn't use it often, it's not so much of a worry. But Ed is brilliant with it, so that's why there's sort of been a bit of a almost backlash from some of the organisers, because they're just... Yeah, next question.
Yeah, but we do like you, Ed.
Yeah.
And we like you, Joe, as well. Most controversial. I'm sure that you want us to say yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting you, pal, as well. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Issa Ali.
This was guy commented last time, I remember the name.
Yeah, thanks for your next question. That's very good.
Do you guys think you could do more 750 plus points games to show how large a points game works?
We can do. One of the reasons why we try and keep it lower points is because of the length of time for watching and for doing as well, for practical reasons. If we're going to do 2 battle reports per week, even though we don't edit massively,
no,
I think now the way that we film it is much better.
Yes, yeah.
It's quicker to edit.
For us to edit. 1,000 points game can generally take about 2 hours without recording. When you've got to record, dice rolls and priority, everything, it can add literally about an hour to an hour and a half on the game. So you're looking at about 3.5 hours for one battle report, which you hope is going to be cut down to about 40 minutes worth.
You hope, but even 500 points is tough.
Yeah,
depends on the scenario and stuff as well.
You're looking at kind of like an hour and a half back rep, and I think I have done 1,000 points in the past, and it got split up into 2, or just very long.
Do you know what I think would be a pretty good solution to this? Is to play a higher points cost like me or you, but we use some bigger heroes to demonstrate some bigger heroes to fill the points. So what we're not ending up with is just 70 odd goblins on the table, and that would just take forever, and that would be tough. But yeah, I think we can do it.
Nope.
You're mostly going to see sort of 350 to 500 points. So next up, we've got Lucas Vertgerven. We see that name a lot. Thank you very much for all your support and your comments.
Go on, you can read this.
Hello! Hello, Lucas. About big heroes in low points cost.
Oh, this is in relation to the question you asked last time about this was the Undying and Morgul Knights.
Why we don't necessarily always agree with taking big heroes in the smaller points games. Not all the time, but I think our answer was, there are ways of...
Troops always sort of seem to work better.
Yeah.
In the small point. So, I read his comments.
I don't take it negative at all, but I still don't agree. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to agree. We had a guy at a tournament who always brought at 300 points. Imrahil, Armoured Horse and Lance. Dol Amroth, Captain on an Armoured Horse, no Lance. 5 Knights of Dol Amroth on Armoured Horse and Lance. He won all the tournaments with it. Old rules.
With in the old rules.
I mean, I can. I'm not even a particularly good player unless I'm playing Jamie. But I can see lots of ways to deal with it.
It really depends on sort of like if you don't play scenarios where model count isn't an issue, armies like that can do well. And in the old rules, breaking and killing the general didn't earn you victory points. I think under the new rules, the force just to me doesn't work. In all honesty, I mean, again, this is our opinion, but you can kill.
What's the difference in the old and new? Because he's obviously referring to old rules.
Old scenarios were very much sort of. Even in the old scenarios, a lot of them were sort of X amount of models in the centre of the board, or X amount of models on the hill, or the objective. So besides like sort of to the death, contest of champions, and to kill a king was kill the enemy general.
Right.
And if you did that, the game's over. I can see that force doing quite well, because Imrahil at 300 points is a very good hero. He's 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 3 might, 3 will, 3 fate. And all those knights counted being in range of a banner within 12 inches of him. But I'd say in the new rules, the scenarios sort of will punish that army because you break them after killing, you've got 7 models, so kill 4 of the knights, which isn't particularly difficult. And the force is broken, and then Imrahil's got a very small force around him.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because it depends a lot on your sort of like what's called your local meta. So what the armies that play in the local area are. If you say if you're going up against sort of warriors in Minas Tirith, then yes, I'd expect that army to do quite well. Or even against Rohan, it could do quite well because generally,
who's Rohan?
Rohan are fight 3, and all these guys, well, they get a banner. So on the charge, they've got their lance and essentially 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Let's say that force came up against, Reavers or Gundabad goblins or wood elves. I can't see the force doing as well because the heroes are there to take down Imrahil, and the troops can, beat off the knights quite easily. So it all depends on sort of your local gaming community's armies that they've got, depending on whether these sort of armies will work, and also everyone's variable skill level.
Yeah, it does very much depend on who you're playing against. I can play with less than 9 models and you win a lot with it. Won 2 times with this list, but at 600 points. Also played Azog plus White Warg, Undying Fell Beast on Fell Beast, and 5 Morgul Knights. At 500 points, nothing can take this down because you have 8 might. So you can always boost your rolls. With Azog, Undying doesn't need it because he's the Undying, and against bows, 50% terrain on the table, which is recommended. It's easy to avoid bows, so you won't be shot down or you won't be shooting down Azog. Yeah, I guess that's what it means.
Yeah.
With objective scenarios, it's easy because you're fast and you just only fight. Jamie, has anyone ever hurled a model through your D3 elves?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, many times. I do my best to avoid it. But yes, it has happened.
There's only one way to sort this out, Lucas. You need to come over and you need to play some games with us, and we'll do a battle report. That's not like a horrible challenge, but I'm not kicking off. Come on then, let's have it. No, that's not what I mean at all. What I mean is, it would be great. Come over in April and try and make a long weekend of it if you can.
Stay on the Monday or the Friday, and we'll be free for games.
Yeah, we'll do some games. We'll film battle reports. Bring these lists, and we'll play against them. And you can show us that you're right, or we can show you that we're right. I mean, no one's wrong or right. It depends who you're up against, doesn't it? It's like anything. It's like we mentioned before about Ed Ball's army being tough to beat. It's only tough to beat if you don't plan to play it. If you've got an army built for
taking it down,
then it's quite easy to take down. Thank you very much again for your question. We really appreciate that. And my question to you is: are you going to make it? April. Let's get down. Come on.
You hit read more.
Oh, this is John Deathclip.
Sorry guys for missing the last Speak Friend in question. Anyway, my question is, what happens when Amdur gets blasted by Sorcerer's Blast while mounted on a horse? The unyielding combat stance rule states that if he is to be knocked down on a 4+, he doesn't. But what happens to the horse? If Amdur rolls a 4+, does he keep the horse, or does he lose the horse and stand on foot? Let me just check the Sorcerer's Blast rule entry. And
That's a very good
do you
question.
have any chance of your Fallen Realms book with you?
Ooh.
Because I think it will depend on Amdur's ruling whether he says Amdur or the model.
Right now. I've got a horrible feeling I don't actually.
Yeah. Right. Well, it says the target model is knocked prone. With your 4+, we unfortunately don't have the Amdur special rule with us. I would assume if it just says, on a 4+, Amdur is not knocked over, then you roll a 4+, Amdur will remain stood up, but the horse, unfortunately, will run away. That would be my take on the rule.
Yeah, I wonder if because there was the FAQ about it was talking about hurled, and it said hurled models are auto. I know it's hurled, but
Yeah.
Sorcerer's Blast is effectively similar.
It's very similar.
Similar rules, and you're automatically not flying.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's a similar thing. You're
Yeah.
automatically losing your horse.
Well, it says you're knocked prone, and then when you're knocked prone, horses specifically, because they don't have a fight value or attack value, one of the two I think it is, they instantly flee. And then the 4+ would mean that Amdur stands up. So that'll be my take on it. But, obviously comment below if you think differently.
Yeah, let us know. Get involved in the conversation. Okay, next part of the question is, also, in Reconnoiter, do the models that left count as being dead, alive, or do you completely ignore them for the purposes of whether the game ends or force is broken? They count as still being alive, don't they?
They unfortunately do, yes. It's a very odd ruling by Games Workshop, in my opinion.
They count as still being alive. I mean, I'm guessing it's to stop people from just running off the board.
Running off and game ends sort of thing.
Yeah. They don't count as casualties.
You can get some very weird situations where, let's say, I'm taking Thorin's company and Reconnoiter is going to be one of the scenarios in the tournament today / yesterday. Let's say I run my 5-model army off the board, then I get 5 victory points. But let's say James takes his sort of, how many models in your Corsair force?
16.
Well, no, it's your army that you're taking tomorrow. You should know this stuff.
I've not even painted it yet. I've got 12, 10, 22, 25.
Let's say, okay, let's say that literally screen's the board, Thorin's company set up here, all the Reavers start here, we just do this, no one kills anyone, I get 5 victory points, and James gets 25. We've not even touched each other, but the game's still not technically over because the armies aren't broken.
Yeah, it can leave you in a tricky situation if you don't have as many models on the board as your opponent. So I found that against Charles's Haradrim at the first tournament I attended. I ended up in this horrible situation where I was trying to die to win. It's like there was only the only way I could win is if I got 5 models off the table.
Yeah, kill their general, break them. Sort of like if you're the smaller force, you have a very sort of hard time of it because you've got to break the opponent just to get the points, kill the enemy general ideally because that's 6 points, run a few of your guys off, and then hope the rest of your guys die so quick the game ends.
Which is what happened to me.
Yeah, it's a very weird situation. But even if sort of with you killing off your own force, you've lost the points for breaking. So then you've got to counteract that by breaking them or killing the general. It's a very tough scenario with the way that the Games Workshop have decided it.
Yeah, I mean, he's put here. I know it's been FAQ'd, and there's still some confusion in my head. It doesn't really make sense if you exit your entire army from the other side before your opponent continues to play on their own, potentially winning the game after 3 or so turns.
Yeah, we agree. Reconnoiter's a very odd scenario. It's not my favourite by any means.
No, it's my least favourite, probably. Thanks very much for your question, John.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Daniel Jones. Hey, guys. Hey, Daniel.
You broke the rule.
He didn't post a question last week. Disappointed in you.
But at least you've done it this week.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Make sure you do one next week.
My question this week is about the Warrior of Kana upgrade for Harad. Is it worth it? I know that getting Watchers of Kana is a better overall choice for their attack, but I have 0 funds to pick them up, unfortunately. Well, I would say that if you can't
Go
get
for
them-
Watches of Corner. Well, 3+ shoots great. I think it's 1 or 2 points.
yeah, it's
Maybe a
not a lot.
point. Yeah, it's definitely worth it, especially over the other upgrade that they've got, which makes them, I think, Courage 4 or something. It's not great.
No, it is a worthwhile upgrade, especially if you can take that bow and
Yeah,
do the whole bow line thing.
yeah.
If you can get Watchers, get Watchers.
Go Watchers, the 2 attacks for Sense of Magic, +2 in Charging Terrifying, and having 2 attacks. They are sort of like the best infantry.
Get Saving. And have they gone out of production yet?
No, you can still buy them. It's
Start buying them quick. They're
it's Serpent Guard who have gone out of production.
We've got, yeah, I've got a few of them.
A few of them. Yeah.
We noticed something yesterday when
I
Jamie.
bought a Son of Ale for Christmas for James here, and it came not in the Lord of the Rings packaging, but in just the standard white Citadel packaging, which is kind of worrying because that's sort of like a hint, as it were, that they're running out, and, well...
Yeah, they've got the metal models, but they've not got things that are packaged up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Interesting, though, they're still on 24-hour delivery, so they're not that short yet that it's sort of searching the storehouse for them.
I'm going to be keeping an eye on that because...
As soon as they go down, you'll buy them all.
Buy them all! Nobody else is allowed to buy any Sons of Ale. So I hope that answers your question. Remember to ask one next week.
Random 336933. Hi, thanks for answering my question.
You're welcome.
How would you use Grimhammers? Thanks for the Q&As. I'll keep them coming.
I think...
It's sort of your whole kill team idea, isn't it? Where you sort of have 2 or 3 of them. One of them, you're trapping the model, potentially, or just 2 of you in one model. One of them knocks them over, the other one piercing strikes. So that you're not risking both models, and one of them can get the strength increase.
I think the thinking behind a Grimhammer is that, and the reason why they've been given Strength 3 and Defense 6 is to encourage you to use the special rules of
Piercing strike.
And even Bash potentially.
Yeah.
Almost you're trying to guarantee the kill. So
Yeah.
even if there's if there's 2, I think the thinking behind the troop. This isn't necessarily gospel, but the thinking behind it is you've got 2 of them there. You try and bash with one of them to knock one down. You piercing strike with the other one, getting double the attacks.
Or the other way that I've been thinking potentially is you have your front line of Grimhammers, your back rank of Warriors of Erebor. The front one bashes, knocks them over. Second one gets 2 strikes against them anyway, so you're not losing anything. But then the next turn, if you get the heroic move or priority and you can charge in, then you're getting sort of your piercing strike for free, essentially.
Yep.
Support, and you're getting 4 strikes against them, your opponents.
I would love. I like the idea of taking forces that people think can't work and then trying to make them work. And because everybody gets on at Grimhammers, I'm thinking of giving it a go. You know.
Really?
Yeah, and try and do it. I did it
Okay,
with
good
Rohan,
work.
didn't I? You know what I mean? I changed the meta.
Like according to Suicidal Mars Bar.
Yeah, that was. I'm not sure whether that was a compliment or a dig, or
Yes,
what,
I think
but
it's-
I've taken it as a compliment. So next up, we've got Alex M, and your question is: Hello. What do you guys reckon is the best force to ally with Gondor? Either fiefdoms or Rohan? Fiefdoms is nice. It's
Fiefdoms are good.
very thematic, and
Both of them are actually pretty thematic.
they are both.
For a straight up ally, I think Rohan are your better choice. Fiefdoms, most of what is there, you can get better in the Gondor list. So like your besides pikemen, I guess, but sort of your frontline troops being fight 4, you can get Osgiliath veterans, you can get sort of Citadel Guard, or for the best frontliners in that sort of Kingdoms of Men book is Guards of the Fountain Court with Shield for defense 7, fight 4. I suppose if you want to really go to you can get defense 8 with your Army of the Dead, but you lose the fight 4. But you can gain that from supports, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Army of the Dead supported by Fountain Court could be quite a tough list to come up against.
Yeah.
Be ground down quite a lot by it.
Yeah. Give it a go.
We go.
That sounds like a nasty little combination. I think fiefdoms is a good.
Fiefdoms
Because
is-
what does Rohan bring to the table? That I mean, you got the 100% bows, I suppose, of your riders.
That's what I was thinking more of, is the fact that you can get some very cheap cavalry. But then, nice. Minas Tirith, you're trading both your lance, and the lance sort of for a combat punch provides much more than the bow. Yeah, probably out of those two fiefdoms. Now, actually, I've come to think of it. Yeah,
I think the fiefdoms, and it's got. I think some of the fiefdoms got some real nice character and some cool little heroes.
So the fall on the fat with his 3 wounds, he becomes a very sort of survivable hero with 3 might who can just sit in your line.
And they're cool models. Yeah. Steve's got some fiefdoms. Yeah. We'll get a battle report with him. Nicely painted.
Monetary wise, though, if it's sort of like a cost thing you're doing, then potentially Rohan, because the troops are plastic besides the elites.
Cheap to pick up on eBay as well. You can pick them up all the time.
Yeah. Whereas the majority of, I think all bar the Rangers, are metal for fiefdoms. So fiefdoms are a very expensive force to collect.
Give it a go and let us know how you get on, and ask us another question next week. So next up, we've got the Armentainment. Shortened version of his question that was missed last week. Thank you very much. What are your opinions towards the notion that all hero armies are usually non-competitive for fun only? Well, maybe you should answer this because you're taking some of Thorin's company tomorrow.
So what are your opinions on the notion that all hero armies are usually no. Hero armies can be very competitive. If used correctly, they can be. It depends on your sort of hero collection, as it were. The heroes in your army. I mean, if you're taking sort of like unnamed captains and things and low point costing heroes, then you're gonna have a tough time of it. But if you sort of invest your points into 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 3 might, 3 will, 3 fate heroes, you can stand to take on a full army of like 70 models or so and still come out on top. I think you've got so much might to boost your rolls and call heroics that your opponents generally can't keep up, and especially if you've got Aragorn or someone, will always be able to charge.
Now, so that Lucas Gervin doesn't think that you're contradicting yourself with that answer.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I think the difference is when you're mixing the two. So you've got an all-hero army, or you've got an army which is well-balanced, where you've got some decent heroes, you've got good troops. If you've got that big hero and then just a couple of troops, you might as well go all-hero. I think that's kind of good.
I mean, going back to the army that you might have listened to previously, the sort of Undying on Felbeast, Azog on White Warg, and then, 6 Morgul Knights or 5 Morgul Knights? You might as well invest those sort of 120 points into another mounted hero, in my opinion, because you don't particularly lose as much, but you gain more might, you gain a big hitting, and you are going to break much less easier. So, yeah, that's my...
So they can be, it just depends who's using them.
Who's using them and who you're taking.
So Ed Ball is an all-hero army, isn't it? And he's got an all-hero good army as well. And he did quite well with that at 800 points.
Yeah. So Gandalf, Legolas, Aragorn, Boromir, not Boromir, Glorfindel, Lord of the West, I think, and the twins on horse.
Nice. So next up, we've got Daniel Jones.
Yep.
Regarding the source books, here in Australia, the only source books available anymore are Moria and Mordor. Ones like Kingdoms of Men and Free Peoples have disappeared since June. Very worrying. As if it was a stock issue, you'd think that 6 months would be enough time to sort it out.
Yeah, it does seem... It seems strange that Moria and Mordor remain, though. And that it'd just be the Free Peoples and Kingdoms of Men that would go. 6 months is a very long time, but it still almost sounds sort of like they're just letting it just filter out over time, aren't they? Like, you've sold out of Kingdoms of Men and Free Peoples, so...
On the plus side, I mean, one good riddance to put underneath since June. Well, this doesn't bode well for the Hobbit. And I know that in the video about our the January release, obviously there was there's some negativity even from myself about the fine cast troops. But I have also read, I'll have to find the source for you, but I've also read that the Hobbit is actually doing really, really well, sales wise.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I read it, but I did read that Games Workshop's doing very well off the Hobbit. Yeah. So I know that's different from Lord of the Rings. And
but what we could find is that if Games Workshop are able to, they might just release them as an ebook if they can get the licensing to do so. Because I can imagine sort of producing the books and sending them to Australia would be potentially compared to an ebook would be a heck of a lot more expensive. So they may be pushing for that with New Line or whoever holds the license with them. So maybe we'll get that.
Keep us up to date with that situation. Next question is from Rob Jacobs. It's a big one. What January releases do you think there will be? Well,
Watch the video.
watch the video. We were there. We were hot on it. First YouTube video again.
That's me.
First channel. Bless you.
Ooh.
First YouTube channel to get those leaked pictures up from that Italian forum. I know that they were on the One Ring and stuff beforehand, but
That was where they were.
that's where we found them. So what January releases do we think? Well, we know now that it is going to be the Lake Town release, so there is a Bard pose, there's Lake Town Guard, Captain of the Guard, the Master of Lake Town, and Alfred. And anything else? No, that's it.
Gandalf.
Oh, and a new Gandalf
A new
pose.
Gandalf pose.
Because we need one.
Because everyone...
It's a nice pose.
It's really annoying because they're all such nice poses.
They're all really good.
But, it's God's sake, we've got Gandalf the Grey in our collections enough times over.
It's a lovely pose. By the way, that was me who got the last grade company from Australia, costing me a whopping £50, 12 quid for the models, 28 quid for the shipping, £10 for the customs
Holy
charges.
Christ.
I doubt I'll be opening them anytime soon. That's it. You go into your garden, you bury a hole. Sponsorship.
Yeah, I wish.
We wish you were sponsored by them.
I'm not ill anymore.
It must be that tasty beverage you were drinking.
Nom nom.
So I don't know what I was doing there. Anyhow, yeah, that's a lot of money to fork out. But I really like the Grey Company models, and I'm actually gutted that they've now gone because I was thinking of picking some up, and now I'm regretting that I didn't.
I think I've got 3 Grey Company at home.
Again,
3 ranged
go
them
dig a hole in your garden, bury it, and then in a couple of years' time, pick it up and dig it up and sell it for a fortune. Other question: how many Citadel woods have you acquired to make the Mirkwood boards layout for scenarios?
Big fat 0.
Yeah, we're not doing very well with that.
No. But see, our local gaming centre has a lot of terrain. We're just looking around the room now, and
There's some like cool woods and stuff. You can keep talking while I find.
there are woods pretty much on every single board, varying from sort of, just your standard evergreens to this sort of death worldy reds. I think James is going to pick up some other variants. I don't know more trees around me. Pardon me, that's the Diet Coke coming back up.
I'm just demonstrating.
Yeah.
There's tons of interesting.
But yeah, we actually ourselves haven't bought any Citadel woods because we're fortunate enough to have. These are the Citadel wood trees, but on a different base.
Yep.
That's a good idea. I'm not a huge fan of the Citadel wood base. With it being so modular, you can't really get your models in between it, and they all stand.
Which causes a big argument, as we saw on the One Ring, about models with
woodland creature trying to move through woodland.
Treebeard's base can easily get through there, as you can see. So we've not picked any up, but that's because we are lucky enough to live.
To live in this local area.
To live in this incredibly cold big hall during some of our days.
Just received 2 by. I assume what?
2 inches by 2 inches boards.
It can't be 2 inches by 2 inches.
I've just received 2.
I think you've missed out a digit there. It must be maybe 48 by 48 or 24 by 24.
Of Kingspan? Kingspan?
Is that? I don't know.
And I'm in the process of making.
Well,
No, it could be like 2 by 4. Sorry, 2 by 2 boards, and he's making the woods and putting them onto his boards. Maybe. It could be. Take some pictures, send them to us. That sounds really cool. But yeah, we're lucky. We're surrounded by them, so we'll use them for our scenario filming. Now, seeing as you're in partnership with Shadow and Flame, could you please pass this idea to DMS and UK Freddy Bear? Well, I know that they watch our Speak Friend and Questions, so they'll be listening right now. So, logo for Shadow and Flame for brand identity, with all the other painting services, etc., to stand out. A flame with a shadow of a flame behind it. Simple yet effective communication. S and F typography designed as flames blazing with a shadow of that flame in the background. There you go.
Yeah.
And they can go away and they can think about that.
Yeah.
By the way, could I get some feedback on my minimalistic GBHL logo design? Don't worry too much about copyright. If it includes the Hobbit in the same type of format as the one used by New Line, it is indeed direct copyright. However, the similarity is not subject to copyright. if it is shortened to say H.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. Yeah,
That's why we try and stick to GBHL.
yeah, we have changed that, and we might have to change it again in the future as well, as we try and be more creative with ways to find ways of you guys supporting us. Yeah. Oh, and also the fact New Line would have closed this channel down as soon as they saw their copyright being used.
Surviving
now
until
means
now
we're
means we're fine.
Not necessarily.
They're probably just not found us yet, to be honest.
We're not that big. Mind you, nearly 500 subscribers.
Yeah, 489 when we made this video.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nearly 500. In terms of feedback, we are going through them all. We did get tons of.
We've got lots. We've got sort of, with it being the Christmas and New Year period, we've not really had a chance to sit down and properly
We've not
look
had
at
a
them.
board meeting, have we?
No, we've not. Closest thing we got was 10 minutes.
You don't have a suit.
mid-gaming.
You'd struggle in a board.
I have plenty of suits. I have, you know.
All right, okay.
If anything, you don't have a suit, Mr. Gym Instructor. Sorry, outdoor fitness instructor.
There you go, get it right. Yeah, so we'll get round to going through them all. There's some really good ones in there as well. I mean, I think with all of them there is some feedback that we need to give, so
Yeah.
we'll get back to you.
The rest of the question links into that as well, sort of, you know, just suggesting more names and merchandise that we could use. So,
Yeah, I'm working on I Love Wargaming logo as well in the future. Well, if you want to give this a go, we've got quite a specific brief for this because this is something that we are looking at for the future.
yeah,
And this is long-term
future.
And what we were thinking of was, obviously, there is the I Love Manchester, I Love New York kind of brand. We've got those letters.
I heart NY, I heart MAN, sort of thing.
Yeah, and we're thinking of something as simple as that, but with the, so you've got the I, and then you've got the heart, but instead of just a normal heart, maybe like a heart dice of some kind. And so that's a really kind of specific brief. So if you think you can execute that well, then let us know. An I, heart dice of some kind, or a
WG.
dice with hearts on it, and then WG.
Yeah.
So give it a go and send it to us, ilovewargaming@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Reasons being, as soon as you start selling t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, merchandise products with anything Hobbit inferred directly, then subsequently making profit from it, no matter how small, if you misjudge this, hopefully I'm thinking Hobbit, not H. Yeah, exactly. We're all over this.
We've read into everything we need to, and
This might not be the GBHL podcast forever. In fact, probably as soon as we. Well, when are we going to have to do this?
once we get a cease and desist letter,
When we get our first cease and desist,
it will change.
that's when we will become I Love Wargaming. But we're still GBHL in spirit.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll stick with us as that change happens as well.
In which case you'll have to disguise the H as home, Great British Home League.
Well, I've always thought perhaps we could name it the Great British Hobby League.
Yeah.
As I always called it for the first year, I was like, oh yeah, it's the Great British Hobby League. And then it sort of dawned on me that it wasn't the Hobby League, it was the Hobbit League.
It is well known that big corporations love overkilling the little guy. Nuke versus sword approach. Yeah, cease and desist is a scary thing, because even replying to a letter like that costs a huge amount of money if you do it properly.
Can we have hobby with a T on the end? Like Hobbit?
I don't know.
I doubt it, they probably bought that as well.
Yeah. So on that basis, I can see why you want to get away over time from that sort of, in order to maintain the purpose of the channel and its separate integrity in relation to the creative and artistic sides of the hobby, rather than just promoting the game itself. But this is the thing, we are promoting the game for free, but obviously people don't always look at things like that. No. Wargamers United is a more whole entity that I think could
be pursued compared to I Love Wargaming. At the moment it's just a Facebook group, however Facebook groups don't have any copyright power.
I Love Wargaming is a Facebook group because it's mine. I own it.
This guy just prefers Wargamers United, so it's just personal preference as an identifiable aesthetic. We
really good
appreciate some feedback on any changes, directions in that format in the future. Thanks. Well, yeah, as we say, like sort of when we get the first cease and desist letter, or when we think the growth of the channel is limited by being called the Great British Hobbit League podcast,
because it is a limiting title. Obviously, it started as that because the tournament scene in the UK has just exploded. Got tons of indie tournaments next year, including our own in April and tomorrow.
Yeah, in Huddersfield.
Yesterday,
the
one that I won.
But yeah,
there was this great game where I took down like a mini version of Thorin's Company, like just in a turn.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, the sort of the thing is, like, as soon as our growth, or we believe that we can't grow anymore with Great British Hobbit League, or we get a cease and desist letter, then we will more than likely change to Isle of Wargaming. But until then, we'll just keep riding the wave.
And the character of the channel will remain the same, so don't be worried just because it's not called the GBHL channel.
Yeah.
But it is something we're aware of that will probably happen in the future, and we're also aware that we've asked you guys to get in these fantastic designs, and we are aware that that might trigger something. It might, but we don't know, because it's GBHL.
Which means nothing, really. The Grievous Bodily Harm
League.
League.
That's right. Greece. That's what I'm saying. Okay, one good riddance.
Hello.
Hello. The name you were seeking is Hurin. That's right. Chained up.
Oh, yes, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yes, yeah.
It's Hurin.
Yes, huge Lake Town board for the win. Indeed, I'd love to play on one.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I wouldn't, not with cavalry, but with something with Reavers, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Reavers are good. It'd be very thematic as well, sort of.
I should get one out, shouldn't I, and show them how far I'm up to wood at some point.
Yeah,
excuse me not asking any questions for the past 2 weeks, so you are excused. So here is something I've been pondering over. Do you think that troop types should have specified options of weapons, which would also be reflected in the points cost? I cannot fathom hobbits, Gundabad, goblins, Gondorians, etc. with flails, or Rohirrim with maces, picks, etc. As I think...
Yeah.
As Stink's weapons severely hamper some forces, example dwarves, while generally tending to help those with lower fight values or with more dispensable basic troops. Well, aren't they starting to do that in the war gear? They're starting to actually say things like 2 daggers instead of hand weapon. Sometimes.
Yeah, all Thorin's company specifically states what they have. Lake Town Guard are armed with swords, it says, unless you equip them with spears or bows. Mirkwood Rangers are armed with daggers, and the Palace Guard are armed with elven blades. So in the new releases, they are doing that.
Yeah, you won't see them retrospectively do it for old releases.
No, I think sort of.
I doubt.
You've got that freedom due to the edition change with the old models.
So you see cheesy power gamers like Jamie putting axes on wood elves and stuff.
3 elves had axes in that 3 tournament, and they worked wonders.
The benefits of being a cheesy power gamer.
Right. Says the man who's equipped axes onto his corsairs and put swords.
That's quite thematic.
Put swords onto his dwarven front line so he can feint whilst having the space point in the background. Don't you talk to me about converting.
You're
3
just
models.
rubbing off on me. Your cheesiness is rubbing off on me. So, they're starting to do that.
Yeah. As for going back and redoing the old ones, I don't think it really needs to. It doesn't happen on a large scale unless you're James with his awful manners.
Oh, I lost to my brother's Durin's folks, but I had revenge on our Xmas themed battle. Good. Go for the win. Next up, Joshua Scythius.
Oh, Scythius. I love your ring wraiths. They're beautiful.
What's this?
I'll show you a link on Last Alliance. He painted up all the ring wraiths to fit their name.
I recognise Scythius from a forum.
Yeah. You introduce a question. I'll try and dig them out.
Yep, of course. Question. In the early books for Lord of the Rings strategy battle game, the scenarios often were not equal points matches, but were balanced by objectives or turns. In the Escape from Goblin Town, there are some scenarios that also have this presentation. Do you think these story-style scenarios are as fun and as relevant in the current system as they were back when the game was new? What a great question. I don't think our journalistic skills live up to such a question.
No. Do you think these story-style scenarios... Yeah, I'd say they're just as fun and relevant.
Have you played them?
No, well, I've played a couple with my little sister. We did some of the Escape from Goblin Town when I first bought it. And they're very tough for the dwarves, I must say. Like, I was playing the dwarves without might, because there was a few small scenarios that I could get my sister. She's only 10 or so interested. Because she enjoyed
This is what he does after he gets beaten by me at the North West Games. He goes home and beats his 10-year-old sister.
But she won with because it's like you play a few very small scenarios without might or anything, so it's just dice rolls, and it's very easy for the goblins to.
So have you got the set? You got the goblins?
I once upon a time did, but then I've sold it to my friend to try and get him back into the game.
Right. Okay.
And he plays it quite a lot in Liverpool. But
right. Okay. You have to get it off him so we can do some of the scenarios for you guys.
I was thinking about buying it again so I can paint them all up and have more terrain basically.
Yeah. Good idea. I've got some Goblin Town scenery that needs painting on.
Yeah.
That'd be good. So yeah, just as fun. Yeah, I mean, you're going to see us doing lots of points matches on here because of being part of the
We
tournament.
do actually want to do the entire sort of journey of Thorin's company.
Next up, we got a question from Frodo, which is Frodo with the invisible rings.
Or so we believe, anyway.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
We think that that's the case. I think it's very cool. From your experience, do big heroes and monsters generally take up most of the enemy bowfire? And if so, what are your tactics for getting them safely into combat before getting killed? It depends. It depends on the defence.
Depends on their defence, your opponent's bow numbers, and your opponent's skill level. I mean, typically, I think if you're sort of wounded on 6s or 6x4s, you might as well shoot at the weakest troops, lowest defence. I mean, shooting should be used to increase your odds in combat later in the game, so you want to shoot at sort of the spear support so you don't have shields, or the stuff that's going to die quick.
Yeah, prime example is if I'm up against Jamie's dwarves and he's got Isengard defence 7 and he's got Isengard defence 6, I'll shoot at the Isengard 6.
It's just 6s.
6s suddenly seem so easy.
Yeah, it's like
to roll.
Easy kills.
So I mean, a lot of any war game is about target priority. Now it's different I've played a couple of games of Warhammer 40k, and it's very, very different. Your big things do attract a lot of the firepower,
and you use your weak stuff to screen the big stuff. Whereas in our game we use sort of this model costs a lot of points, better use him to defend my weak stuff.
Kind of.
Almost, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Again, it depends very much on sort of the defence of the model. There's a big jump between sort of defence 6 defence 7, or when you fire in strength 2 bows, and then same depends whether you've got elf bows or up against elf bows. So do they become the target? It depends what kind of player you're playing against.
Yeah.
I think if you're playing against a beginner who's not necessarily used to target priority,
just shoot the big thing because that's visually very imposing for them. Whereas if you're playing against someone who knows the intricacies of the game a bit more, they might target just the stuff they know they're going to kill.
I use bowfire to target weak things. So you should be okay. Depends who you're up against.
Right, for actually defending your big stuff, put them behind 2 ranks of troops. It's generally enough to keep them.
Yeah, there's a few in the ways there, aren't there? And there's plenty of terrain in strategy battle game as well that you can use as you move towards your enemy. Next up, we've got Sam Page, Southern Dunedain. The Corsair captains are still on the UK site, although they are listed at 4-week dispatch, so could be going soon. So get on there if you want Corsair captains, start buying them. Regarding the source books, it does indeed seem that all the source books, bar Mordor and Moria, have gone from the Australia site. So he's gone and confirmed that for us. Similar to Jamie, I have a fascination with blues and have painted my Dale Warriors as such. I'll put some pictures up over on the One Ring. So guys, if you're watching this video now and you want to have a look at that, go over to the One Ring and check out Southern Dunedain's posts. On to the question. If you had to pick one model to lead the Mirkwood Rangers, who would you choose out of Legolas, Toriel and Thranduil? All have their pros and cons, but interested to see who you guys would pick. I tend to use Leggy and Toriel. Well, Legolas is a game changer model, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He can change a game
in just a turn or 2 turns of shooting. I think for me and my Wood Elf force, I'm going to ally in some Mirkwood Rangers, and they'd come with Toriel because Thranduil and Legolas are leading
normal Wood Elves.
The regular Wood Elves. So for me, it'd be Toriel, and I'm starting to paint that model, and I quite like her stat line.
Yeah, we'll get some battle reports with her in.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Yeah, I mean, Legolas is a game changer. As somebody who doesn't have a Wood Elf force, so I do have Legolas models, etc., but I don't have normal Wood Elves. I might think about bringing in Legolas, but Toriel looks like a fun profile. Thranduil's got lots of uses as well. You know, is it Circlet of Kings? Is that right?
Yes, the Circlet of Kings that can.
That's pretty cool. I guess it would vary game to game.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooper, keep it up, guys. Love watching your videos. My question is, when will you be showing us the models from Shadow and Flame? Well, I can answer that question.
Can you? Oh, good, because I wanted to know this.
DMS isn't going to be able to paint any stuff for us until his current backlog is done. No. And that's likely to be sometime sort of going into January, February. He's already received some orders for some of the new models, so you might see some of the latest releases being painted. Now, we were quite keen to do a Lake Town army.
I still am.
It's going to be a bit more expensive than what was originally hoped, and we thought that would be quite a cool visual thing. But it very much depends. It very much depends on what he's painting at the time. In terms of seeing models from Shadow and Flame generally. Remember, it's not just painting; it's sculpting as well. And UK Freddy Bear, Dave Fredericks, is sending me 2 of his tree giants.
Oh.
What a legend! If you've not seen them, guys, go on to Majestic Mare Miniatures and have a little look there. And I'm sure he's sending me a Willow Giant and a Birch Giant that are his very own, and he's sending that as a contribution to the channel. And I believe he's been painting them up for me as well, which is really cool. I did enjoy painting Treebeard, but that obviously saves me to paint other things.
Yeah, as long as you can base them as nice.
Yeah. Well, if you've seen their basing, they're unbelievable.
No.
Oh, these guys are phenomenal.
Oh, they're painting them up for you as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you lucky son of a gun.
So I'll be able to do. We'll be able to do some March of the Ents scenario or something then as well. So you will see them hopefully.
I'll have to show you the ring weights later. My internet's being too slow in here to find them. I'll concentrate more on
the questions. Mavs Fantastic 11690.
James R.
That's his name. That's his name.
What is your favourite monster because of fluff, stats, and cost, etc.?
My favourite monster. I love the Eagles, but not necessarily to play. They're not the strongest.
Favourite monster, sort of in the lore, with stats and fluff included, not including cost. I really like the Watcher in the Water. He's got some great rules.
Yeah, I think that's James's.
Oh yes, there it is.
Yeah,
for myself, it's the Watcher who can potentially kill 12 models per turn, and the brutal power attacks are even better with 6 attacks. Yeah, he's really good. For cost, as we've said in the past, it's got to be the Fell Beasts because they are just brilliant
and underpriced.
Yeah,
and they can do lots.
Do a lot of a lot.
Do lots. They're cheap. I love the look of the new Eagles.
Yeah.
It's just they need that.
They need the knockdown.
Knockdown.
+1 for charge, and it just makes no sense that they get it. They don't get it even.
If you give that would just
make the Eagles
them really worth it.
Yeah.
Because at the moment they're not.
Good. Don't have any.
Treebeard's cool.
Yeah.
Treebeard's cool.
Treebeard is cool, but again, he's a big points cost.
It's a big points cost, and he's slow. And I'm looking forward to using Bayon.
Yeah, Bayon would be cool.
Be fun as well. We saw that it's probably going to be quite a fun model to play with and play against in the Steve versus Jamie back rep. Your dice rolling exercise, as you like to say.
Wow. Sorry, Steve.
Okay, next up we've got
that guy again.
That guy 513.
He's enjoying assembling Tariel and the Milkwood Rangers from Christmas.
You lucky boy.
Tariel is pretty cool.
I'm presuming you're a boy. You're that guy.
Although something I've noticed that these Milkwood Rangers, they've got sort of almost a paint by numbers or a build by numbers on their sprue. So they've all got little bits that need to go on certain Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, in all the others where you just stick a shield on. They've got a certain sort of arm for this model. And it's all on the sprue. So you've got to be quite careful. You can't just snip everything out and then build them. Do it one at a time. Take your time whilst doing it.
I'm looking forward to seeing these bad boys.
Yeah.
What are both of your favourite army-specific formation tactics to use? Be it hit and retreat with woodland creatures, and Uruk phalanx,
Dwarf and shield wall, Rohan cavalry charge to the flank, etc. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year to everybody.
For me, my old favourite used to be...
You know what yours is? Shoot, run away.
Yeah,
Wood elves.
hit and run. Back when throwing weapons used to not have the negatives, I used to really enjoy that sort of play style. Now, I'm quite happy just to get stuck in with them and hope I can break you quickly. Otherwise, if it becomes a protracted fight, the wood elves go down pretty quickly.
Yeah, that low defence.
Yeah.
For myself, I love using cavalry.
Yeah.
I love using cavalry. I love the fact that it can all go so wrong so quickly. But if you get it right, and you think you've got to really think about it, and that's what I enjoy. But it's not just 2 lines of warriors go up to each other, and it's all about the dice rolls and stuff like that. You're trying to make the battle work in your favour by trying to get more dice by getting these charges on these models, and I like using cavalry in terms of tactic. I like chucking my Sons of Ale in there because they can take it. They die, but they can take it and then counter-charging the counter-charge. Yeah. That's a good tactic.
Cool. So Davey MC Shearer, is Jamie saying Diet Coke or something? He seems to have a bottle of can in every video and it's making him thirsty. Well, I'm doing my job very well then, aren't I? I wish I was getting paid by Diet Coke.
He's not thirsty because he's got Diet Coke. No, I was about to start singing the Dr. Pepper song.
Diet Coke, what's the best that could happen? I win the
You saw it yourself, guys. Marketing exclusive from Jamie.
No, I drink probably far too much Diet Coke, to be honest.
I'm not going to go into nutritional reasons why it's not a great thing to be doing all the time.
I read a scientific paper. Well, I read an article on the internet that was from a scientific paper that said aspartame isn't as bad as they originally thought.
Well, it's just like picking up a newspaper when you pick up those things, and it will tell you that smoking is bad for you. The next one will say smoking reduces this by this, but it also increases this by this. There's so many different factors that come into it.
But no, I'm not selling Diet Coke. I wish I was.
And the reason why we've always got a bottle of, because we've had people say this about our water and stuff. This is thirsty work. Talking to a camera for like an hour and something, you need to keep hydrated. And a lot of the time when we meet as well, because we're doing all these videos, like, I'm not eating anywhere near as much as I normally would. If you don't eat,
we've been travelling quite a bit. Well, for me, it takes me about an hour to get down here, so you know.
And if you don't eat, you're going to be getting dehydrated. So that's why we're drinking a lot.
On vids.
Have you ever seen or know of surprisingly good strategies for the lesser played or underpowered factions? For example, I've never heard of anyone taking Candish, Dunland forces, Hobbit forces, or to a lesser degree fiefdoms and Easterlings to tournaments, etc. Is it the case of writing these armies off unless you're playing for fun and fluff, or can they work?
Yeah.
The idea of massing chariots for the special strikes, I love the idea of massing chariots for the special strikes, so it would be good to hear from your experiences with these factions. Give it a good work.
If you go through the list, Candish are all metals. The same with Dunland, the same with Hobbits and fiefdoms. So you just purely because of cost,
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
You're not going to see these armies very often. Besides, sort of collectors or people who really want to play these forces.
Yeah, something like Dunland as well. What you'll find is because it's part of the Isengard list, people tend to. I think it'd be a really cool army and a great theme.
Oh,
I'd love us to have a channel army of that someday because it's gorgeous. But people look at the list. I've had it before.
You look at Dunland and you go, okay, so you got these strength 4 warriors, defense 5, decent courage, fight 3. Let's have a look at the cost of them. Okay, it's £15 or so for 3 models, or £12 for 3 models. You look at the warriors, the Uruk-hai warriors, and they've got fight 4, strength 4, defense 6, courage 3 for being like 10 more minutes. Then we've only got 10 more minutes apparently. Oh no, wrap it up. So yeah, you've got better options out there. Hobbits are very competitive, lots of shooting, lots of throwing stones, very cheap, high numbers.
Piercing strike with axes.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
So yeah, the armies work. They're just very expensive to collect.
Yeah, and fiefdoms are cool. Yeah. Easterlings, maybe not so much. I mean, they can be if we get the upgrade. The
Black Dragon upgrade. They can fight 4, courage 4. The problem with them is that they don't really. The boxes don't lend themselves well to building an army. The boxes come with very odd amounts. Like you get 4 shield warriors and 8 pikemen, I think, or 6 pikemen and 2 bowmen. It's a very weird box.
Right. Okay. That's probably why you don't see them as much. But I mean, if
purely for the cost of it.
Surprisingly good strategies for the lesser played or underpowered factions.
I wouldn't say they're underpowered.
I'll tell you an underpowered faction, Rohan. Which is one of the reasons why I took them on. And look at me now, unbeatable.
Unless you're in a tournament.
Unless I'm in a tournament.
So, next question. So, we're going to have to speed up our questions a little bit here. We're running out of time.
I've got a class in like 45 minutes.
Brandon Cooper says he's got another question. Do you think there will be a Smaug figure, and if so, how big? Well, we reckon sort of Mummikill size base, maybe made by Forge World.
You think Forge World and bigger, and I think Mummikill size, maybe curled round something going up. It seems like it'd be a shame to miss out on that. Brandon Cooper follows us on the I Love Wargaming Twitter and is tweeting me quite a lot. So guys, get involved in a conversation. Chat to me and Brad on Twitter. Not Brad, sorry, Brandon.
When it comes down to it, is it quality or quantity? As in, can a Balrog really beat 80 goblins, for example? When you do a straight-up comparison like that, it should be the goblins that win, purely because they're going to get the dice.
Rolling more dice.
Yeah. It's all about striking a balance. You can't just be pure quantity of crap, basically. And again, you don't want a very small elitist. Well, in my opinion, Lucas might disagree. You don't really want a very small elite army unless you go in all hero, in which you've got a very sort of dedicated force with very strict goals, as it were.
And it also depends on who's playing with them as well. Cause some people
what board you're on.
Yeah, massively. What scenario are you playing? You know, one will do really, really well on Reconnoiter, and one will do really, really well on Lords of Battle.
Yeah.
You know, so lots to think about there. It's a balance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about finding the good ground.
Next up, we've got Max M. Really like your videos. We really like you guys for sitting down with us for an hour and watching them and getting your questions in. Remember, guys, if you've liked this video, please share it, get down, comment for next week's Q&A. The Q&A are great. I've got 2 questions. Could you maybe do some painting videos too?
I'm trying.
Yeah, you're giving it a go, aren't you?
Giving it a go, but my camera's not great for doing it. It keeps focusing crazy when I'm doing it.
It's a really tough thing to do, a painting video.
Yeah.
I think down the line, we might do some basic ones, but what we might do down the line is maybe get some of our sponsors.
Maybe DMS, hopefully, fingers crossed. DMS, what do you think?
Let us know.
Would you?
Or even our friend in Element Games.
Yes, well, Element Games have told us that we can quite freely just use their videos and put it along as a playlist at the bottom, which, you know, for the time being, if you guys have got an interest in painting videos, we might do just to give you some extra stuff to watch. Yeah,
there's tons of really good sort of painting-based channels out there. I mean, if you want to see us painting Lord of the Rings miniatures, because I'm guessing that's why you would want us to do it, not because you want to see really good paint jobs. We're not too bad.
We're not terrible.
We're
just not amazing.
We're not phenomenal. We're not going to teach you anything that's completely revolutionary. You know, we can teach you the basics.
So, like most of these painting channels, as the guys at Element Games said to us, is you learn a technique and apply it to a model. You don't learn how to paint a model. You learn how to sort of dry brush effectively or highlight effectively, and then you can just add that to your models. You don't learn how to paint a Mirkwood Ranger. You learn how to, you know, paint the cloth, as it were.
So, good examples. I know that, well, is it
Dom Hill's got some great...
Dom Hill, who is one of our subscribers. I think we've got him as... He's a LinkedIn channel, isn't he? He does some good Lord of the Rings miniatures. I know that if you go on to girl painting, is that right?
It's like mini girl painting or mini...
Girl painting?
Miniature girl painting or something.
Girl painting?
Is it girl painting?
Yeah, girl painting. Is that right?
I don't know.
Hello, Tubies. Is that the one?
I don't know. I don't watch you.
Hello, Tubies. This is how you paint. She's awesome. She's a really good painter. I think she's from Germany.
Yeah.
that's
Hello.
Hello, Tubies. That's what she says to everybody. Hello, Tubies. Hello to you too. You're an awesome painter. Also, if you go onto the Mini Wargaming site, where we're obviously featured as well, they've got some great painting tutorials, and they work with sort of Greenleaf Terrain and other painting studios, Blue Table Painting, people like that. So yeah, there are tons of them out there. We might do it at some point, but you might not get as much from seeing us two do it as from seeing somebody else. And what else have we said? That'd be really cool to see. So yeah, we'll do it at some point. Question number 2 is a little bit more personal. How old are you? Been wondering that for some time. Always keep up the good work. How old do you think we are?
Yes.
We're not. In fact, we're not going to answer that. I want you in the next video. In fact, all of you can give it a go, and we'll see.
If you know
your name is Charles and you're on my Facebook, don't go. I've not looked on your Facebook page,
but I know what the
I know what it is. Okay, that's not what we want.
If you know us, don't just ask us a question. If you know us through this channel, then put down how old you think we are.
Yeah, have a good guess. If you know the answer, don't put it down. But if you're guessing, you're well older than me. Look at the beard. So that's all the questions. Now I know that there've also been tons of questions on other videos. For example, there have been questions asking for tutorials. We had great fun giving this a bash yesterday. Filming a tutorial for a game that you know reasonably well is hard.
It's tough. It's so hard to break everything down into each individual step, because quite a lot of times, as we obviously discussed in I think the last Q&A, we just fly over things because we know it so well.
That's right, we know it so well.
I know it so well. teaching someone new to the game all the steps and making sure we record everything, so
making sure you say it all.
It's so tough.
And communicating it well. It was tough.
Rather than just going, okay, so your elves are shooting my defense 5 warriors, that's 5 to wound, going, you got a strength 3 bow, so you check on the chart.
And you'll find that he's strength 3 here on here, and then you compare this to defense. You'll find a defense here, and then you've got to look at this. You'll find that this chart is here, and what you do is and doing all of that and really breaking it down. And
then rolling dice, and it's just like, oh, so much. Yeah,
it was tough, but we hope you guys enjoy it when it comes out.
We hope you do learn stuff from it.
Yeah, it's a beginner's bat rep, and it will be coming out soon. I've got something like 200 odd clips to edit.
Not envious of that.
I've got to. Yeah.
I'm glad you recorded it.
I know. I'm recording a lot at the moment.
Well, I keep asking if you want me to bring my tripod and camera down. You're like, no. I'll use the iPod.
I don't mind. I don't mind. And the Phone's it's good. It's good quality, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Hello. So yeah, we've had questions asking for tutorials, lots of questions about that. A lot of you asking questions on some of the other videos. We might not always get to it and answer it on that one, so do try and make sure if you want a question definitely answering, put it in our Speak Friend and Question.
Yeah.
As always, this has been James and Jamie on the GBHL YouTube channel.
Wish us luck tomorrow at the tournament. I hope we do well.
What do you mean? It was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
And I won. I don't need any luck.
Support your hobby, guys.
Happy strategy battle gaming.